Hi everyone, today I'm going to be looking at a build that is based all around the Dodge City Gunslingers holster. And so as normal, I'm going to try and do a themed build, although it will probably go a bit astray. So this holster, this one is actually a god rolled one, has weapon damage on it, weapon handling and headshot damage on it. And the talent is quick draw. So whilst your pistol is holstered, it gains a stacking buff every 0.3 seconds up to 100. When you swap to it, your first shot consumes the buff and deals plus 10% damage per stack. This deals headshot damage to anywhere you hit. Okay, so it's one of the, I think it's the only holstered ability that remains in the game. So it obviously has this cowboy theme. So looking at our apparel to start with, we've gone with the rider boots because they've got spurs on them, and we're going to rustle up some bad guys. For the trousers, we've just got some random hunter pants. Nothing special, just sort of a sandy colour. There's plenty of tops to choose from, but I've gone with the rider shirts. We've got this sort of nice check, kind of a cliche, but you know, here we are. And the rider's hat. I mean, it's pretty much the whole rider outfit, to be honest. And the explorer scarf to cover our faces, just in case we wanted to hold anyone up and we, didn't want to use our respirator that we're carrying around. Anyway, let's get to the actual stuff that matters. Since the holster affects the pistol, that's obviously quite an important decision. However, remember, it's only the first shot that gets that buff. So chances are you want to switch to it and then switch off it. So really what you're looking for is your highest single shot damage. So if we were keeping more in with the theme, we might want to use the orbit. It's still fairly decent single shot damage, but not quite as high. But it is a revolver, which is much more cowboy-esque. The orbit does have this critical hit buff on it, so switching from the weapon within 10 seconds of killing an enemy grants 35 critical hit chance. That's actually fairly nice because we haven't really got any critical hit on this build. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the orbit. Completely not in line with the build, we have the Mantis. Now, this was something of an accident. I might prefer to go with something like the Viridian to keep it within the Viridian. The Viridian. The Viridian. The Virginian. Might want to go with something more like the Virginian to keep it in with the theme, but, if we want it to be effective, like the Mantis is actually pretty actually works a lot better. So Mantis is a marksman rifle. It's not particularly well maxed out one, but it's not bad. Your scope view displays additional information about your enemies not targeting you. Headshots and weak point damage against enemies not targeting you are amplified by 50%. So that's a pretty decent buff right there. Headshot kills reset the cooldown of the decoy skill, and this bonus will wait until the decoy goes on cooldown if currently active. Okay, and we've also got its sight adds 40% headshot damage. The other stuff's not that exciting. Reload speed, stability, and critical hit chance. Obviously, the reload speed and the stability just help with how much uptime we have. Obviously, it's completely themed, not in any way in line with our cowboy build, but there we are. So the other weapon, we've got a perfectly rolled random rifle, but the key thing on here is the preservation. I'm using this weapon as my healing. So if you want to heal, you switch to this weapon, shoot somebody in the head preferably. Killing an enemy repairs 10% armor over 5 seconds, and headshot kills improve the repair by an additional 10%. So basically, you want to shoot them in the head, and that'll give you back some armor. And that is quite helpful. Mods on this, we don't really want a decent scope on this because we want to be able to shoot them in close range. We're basically doing it for the preservation. We've got stability here, and larger magazine. But the second weapon isn't so important. That's just an extra buff to our healing. we'll just go and have a look at the specialization here. So, okay, so we've got the sharpshooter, and primarily this is the 15% increase to headshot damage is the main thing with rifles and marksman rifles, which is a good reason for choosing a rifle as your second weapon, but it's not really essential. The main thing is you've got the marksman rifle buff there. We're not using the specialization scope because we're using the rifle in close proximity, and the marksman rifle has its own, which can't be changed. The weapon stability recoil thing, that is a help, and the emergency cleanse, well, you know, that's useful if you start getting flanked, you know, or you're getting hit by the cleaners and their bombardier drones, then that can be quite useful. Some extra armor and cover, resistance to anything is useful, and you start, and the regenerating ammo. I mean, you're always going to be in cover with this build, so yeah, that's just a little extra. Okay, I have got the flashbang on, but it's not really essential. You might prefer to not have it. I'm just going to move down to the skills quickly. I'll come back to the rest of the gear in a second. We've got the decoy. There's no skill tiers on the skill, so the decoy is basically just used at its basic level. It does synergize with the Mantis, and I'll show you that in a bit. And we've got the fixer drone, so it's just giving us our healing. As you see, my shade level's not super high, it's under 1,000, so if you're at 1,000 or above, then you're going to get better stats than this all round. Okay, looking at the rest of the kit, we've got our one piece of Providence, and as you'll see, what we're going to have is headshot and weapon handling rolled pretty much across the board where possible. This one's perfectly rolled with headshot damage mod on it. Walker and Harris, so we've got 5% weapon damage. In fact, we've got 3 pieces of Walker and Harris, so we've got damage to armor, damage to health, maxed out headshot, weapon handling. The headshot is all but maxed out. I've chosen Walker and Harris. The other 2 are named ones. It's more to do with the rolls than with the specific set buffs. Other 2 pieces of Walker and Harris then are the Matador. This one's not particularly well rolled, but we've got the Adrenaline Rush, so within 10 meters of an enemy, you'll get bonus armor. We don't really want to be that close to the enemy, but we haven't got much protection when we are. So that's what that's for. That's just a bit of extra survivability, really. You could probably swap this out for something else that's a bit more aggressive. You can see I could actually roll something else on there. I could roll weapon handling on here, but I've left the armor regen on. As I said, this is about just having a bit of extra survivability. And I've probably found a piece of kit that can replace this since I put this together, but it's okay. But it's okay for what it is. These theme builds are just for a bit of fun. I try to make them viable in challenging. They don't have to be perfectly rolled all around. Okay, Chain Killer. Again, not perfectly rolled, but it's reasonably well rolled. Got the headshot damage on there. I've left Hasbro on as just an extra protection against those annoying effects. Perfect Headhunter. After killing an enemy with a headshot, your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deals an additional 150% of that killing blow's damage. Damage is capped at 800 of your weapon damage. This is raised to 1250% if your headshot damage is greater than 150%, which it is. It's going to be well above that. So it's 150%, and as it sort of explains, it does actually stack. So if you chain the headshots together, it will make some decent damage. And we've been through the holster. And the last piece is Fox's Prayer, which is giving rifle damage, which is buffing our second weapon. I'll put weapon handling on this rather than headshot damage. It gets to a point where the headshot damage is not really doing you any more favors. If you're killing most things in one hit, you're kind of wasting the effect. So I roll weapon handling on there instead. Damage to targets out of cover gives us an extra 8%. And it's fairly decently rolled. Again, there's a little bit of weapon damage that could be improved on there. Okay, so that's pretty much... So that's the build. As you see, the primary damage isn't super high, but the armor is really low. So we haven't got any armor cores on at all. Okay, so we're going to spend a few minutes on the range now. So we'll just go through the different weapon abilities here. So starting with the Mantis. I'm just going to knock this one up to 15. So, we'll put a named one on. So 929, one shot. Headshot damage. 4.6 million. The secondary weapon, 400,000 with headshot with 1 million. So that's not too bad. I mean, the regular pistol is 486 with headshot of 1.4 million. It's pretty decent as well, just without any buff. Sidearms have been charging up. Now I can hit anywhere 4 million. So that's a fully charged pistol shot using the buff from the holster. Okay, let's just look at how a few of these things interact then. I'm just going to demonstrate how chain killer works in conjunction with the pistol. So let's do invulnerable on that one. Okay, so we'll show how this interacts then. So I've got the Mantis on. I'm going to chain 3 headshots on the Mantis together, then switch over to the sidearm and shoot at this invulnerable enemy. So 1, 2, 3. Switch to the sidearm. Sidearm's fully charged. Anywhere on the body. 12 million. That's not bad. I'll just try that again because it. Also, I've just done 2 shots. The thing isn't fully charged. That's 11 million. So it doesn't need, the pistol doesn't actually need to be fully charged to apply that headshot buff. It only needs to be the first shot after you switch to it. So combining it with chain killer means that a multiple of your previous shot, which can be up to 1250% if you've chained enough together, will then be applied to the next hit, which can be headshot damage to anywhere on the body because of the pistol buff. We also have on the Mantis, we have the decoy ability. As long as I make a kill, if I cancel the decoy, it's immediately re-available. There's no cooldown. However, let's do the same again. I have the kill. I've triggered the ability. However, press 2, switch to the secondary weapon, then cancel the decoy, and it goes on its normal cooldown. So you have to stay on the Mantis, even if you've already triggered it, to cancel that decoy ability. However, if your decoy is on its cooldown and you make a Mantis headshot kill, it will reset immediately. So you can actually make the kill before or after the decoy goes on cooldown. We'll have a quick look at the stats. So the base level weapon damage itself isn't all that good. You see we've hardly got any crit here. You got less than a 1 in 10 chance of scoring a critical hit. And then even if you get one, the critical hit damage isn't that good. But headshot damage is 263%. And that will be further buffed by the decoy. If the enemies are targeting the decoy, the Mantis will do further damage. And we've got those weapon handling stats are all improved as well. And they aren't too bad. Stability being quite high. Armor wise, we've got no armor on kill. Armor regeneration is hardly anything. And we've got no protection from elites. So we've got a little bit of Has-Pro here and some explosive resistance, hardly any. So we're really squishy. We're counting on that decoy to take most of the flak, and then a combination of our rifle and the drone to keep us topped up. But this really isn't a run into the mix type build. This is stay hidden. Okay, so I'm going to go and run a mission on this. I'm going to try it on heroic to see how it goes, see if we can get through it. And we have got the Guardians event at the moment, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult.
Getting that Black Tusk assault team out of there is your main objective. But there are a few high priority targets we want you to neutralize. Their codenames are Puck, Roadblock, and Carver.
I need to take that Guardian out, otherwise... Come on! Poke your bloody head out.
Vital signs critical.
That's more like it. They've got the Guardian buff on as well, which is a help. We need clearing up. This, just to be clear, this is the Stadia version I'm playing on, which is why I can record it and go in the menus without it crashing all the time.
Zero intel on how they're set up on site.
Chances are that I'm going to get flanked at some point, and then I'm going to be in trouble, especially with these all these unkillable ones. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned the Mantis has a really decent scope on it, which makes headshots really easy. It's not as easy on the Stadia version. It's not quite as sharp as on the PC version. So really, sniper build isn't super good on the Stadia version, but so that will basically kill anything other than a named with one shot, providing you've let it. Puck dead. Puck's drone. He says shooting at you completely unnecessarily. Right, that flanker. Shit. Sit down.
Serious trauma detected.
Oh. He didn't realise he had it. He got it. Come on, get off. Get off.
Agent killed.
Okay, we'll try that again. So there, you see, using the pistol when somebody's flanking me, using the pistol even against a yellow bar, it's actually quite effective. But if it starts getting close, you don't have to headshot because it does headshot damage to every part of the body when you switch to it. No, Puck got blooming rezzed. Come on.
Confirming that Puck is down. Good work.
Decoy over there.
Support station deployed.
See if we can. No, that was. But this named enemy is quite a difficult one in my experience, so we might be pushing our luck here. Especially if he's the...
I saw them! Open it up! Tossing a jabber!
System malfunctioning.
See, I've lost both of my
System back
my
online.
skills. If he comes around here, I'm going to be...
I need a new man. Can cover you.
do this
Got one,
bit.
brother.
Oh shit.
Here they are.
Run away! Finally! Certainly took long enough.
Roadblock has been neutralized. One priority target remaining.
Okay. Let's take it easy here because we've got this. The decoy. So as long as the enemies are firing at the decoy, you do extra damage to them, which is
agent requesting backup.
Where's the Guardian? There he is over there. And let's...
Showtime.
And come on. I'm just gonna try and pick a couple off with the... Come on, blooming things, come... Well, I can't... So stand up then. Let me shoot you.
They're going for it!
Comes close, I can whack him one. That was stupid. Come off, come on, come on, come on.
Serious trauma detected.
Really trying to do that. Might edit that bit out. I should do. Tide's turned a bit here. You're gonna do that, and I'll... Come on then, pop your head up there. See what I mean about that pistol? See, that's the main... We've built this build around the gunsling, around the holster. But that holster is like a lifesaver.
Let's get
See, the pistol is really good if you've got it. Get a killing the elites, because it can pretty much one-shot them with a single hit to anywhere. And this is kind of challenging because he's... Oh dear, bang. He's hiding right behind him.
Looks like they're taking up defensive positions around a mobile command post topside.
If they've got a command station, you should pull data from it.
Yeah, I'll do that while I'm single-handedly taking on hundreds of enemies. While you're sat there in the White House doing nothing.
Download initiated. Complete.
Oh, so where's the...
System curtailed.
So I can't shoot anything because there's nobody to actually shoot.
System reactivated.
I can do this all day.
Complete.
Does it just hide behind there? I can't. Bloody finally.
Complete.
Dead! Tossing an EMP! Good hit. That's back.
Finally.
It's all 3 priority targets down for the count.
The decoy there, and hopefully I'll get a bit of
Enemies coming
peace and
around.
quiet.
Coming up fast.
And he's got fucking guardian buff.
System disrupted.
I'm gonna struggle, I think, here.
System reactivated.
Need some behind me. I think I can hear the big guy. He's... Oh, he's there, yeah.
Serious trauma detected.
Don't let them play. Sword ahead. Watch your fire. Drone in the air. Enemy is on their feet.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Here it comes. I hit him. Trying to encircle him.
Hell. Oh, there's another fucking.
Time to have to kill these division agents. Cover fire. Division agent in my scope. Got a moving target. This is amateur hour. EMP out. Division agent targeted.
Finally. We got one more somewhere here. Is that it? There's another one. Seriously?
All clear. Black Tusk appears to have abandoned the location.
Agent in need of backup.
Okay, and that's it. As you see, it is viable on heroic, but I did have some difficulty there. It's not the strongest, or on lower difficulties, it's much easier. And part of the difficulty was the guardian thing, meaning I couldn't necessarily always shoot the target I wanted. But yeah, pretty good and pretty fun sort of build to play. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you've got a particular piece of gear that you want me to make a build around, just drop it in the comments and I'll see what I can do.